Well, last month, the Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly, Gabriel Dewan, said he would not recognize the 16 lawmakers who were declared winners of the election into their various constituencies after the Court of Appeal nullified the election of the People's Democratic Party candidates who were declared winners. Dewan, who said he has a court injunction against recognizing the APC lawmakers as members of the Plateau State House of Assembly, however, said he would also not recognize the 16 sacked PDP members who had attempted to resume plenary despite being sacked by the Court of Appeal. But Dewan said he would only recognize 8 members of the Assembly, while the sacked PDP lawmakers and the other 16 APC lawmakers with certificates of return would be shut out for now. Well, to speak on the development, we are now being joined by an APC chieftain from Plateau State, Professor John Wade. Thank you so much for joining us here on Newsday.
Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure being here.
So what is the way forward in this particular situation, as it seems like there's a bit of a stalemate? And also, how does this affect the governance of Plateau State as it stands currently?
Okay, once again, thank you. I think following your introductory remarks, as the popular saying goes, politics has come and gone. Elections were conducted successfully and peacefully on the plateau. Following the elections and following the electoral laws and other necessary guidelines as said, those who have issues can bring it up with the tribunal, right from the legislative to the executive. From the legislative, we have the National and House of Assemblies, State Houses of Assembly, and at the executive, we have the president and the governors. Now, at the legislative level, we've had issues right through to the executive levels. And Plateau State issue is a very peculiar one. We have the issue of structural functionalism, what is popularly referred to as structure. That the party, the People's Democratic Party, was lacking in structure. And that was the bone of contention. And if they were lacking in structure, they were therefore not qualified to sit for the election or to stand for the election. The election came and passed, and just as expected, every party went to the tribunal to get justice. At the different judgments that were given, some were favorable, some were not favorable, going by the adage of the lawyers and us. Either way, at the end of the day, as we know very well, for the executive, that is the governor and the president, the bus stop is the Supreme Court. For the National Assembly and the House of Assembly, the bus stop is at the Court of Appeal. At the different tribunal levels, judgments were passed. Some, to great expectation of the PDP, were passed in favor of them. Some were passed in favor of the Labour Party and the APC, as the case may be. However, again, as I said, for the National Assembly and the State House of Assembly, the final bus stop for their own cases is the Court of Appeal. And the Court of Appeal in all the cases affirm and supremely confirm that ABM PDP had no structure, and therefore all members of the House of Assembly that are PDP members were all removed from office. And at the end of the day, we had 16 members of the House of Assembly that were affirmed as duly elected, and 1 member of the Labour Party. Today, as it stands, Plateau State House of Assembly has a total of 24 members. And in these 24 members, we have, arising from the final Court of Appeal judgment, we have 22 APC members and 1 Labour Party and 1 YPP. The 16 that have been declared qualified to return to the House of Assembly are yet to be inaugurated, as you rightly alluded. And that has been creating a lot of confusion, agitations, and some tensions. And like you rightly asked, what is the implication? What does it portend? I think it portends a lot of things. Yes, it is true that up till now they have not been inaugurated. In view of the fact that the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Honorable Gabriel Dewan, said he cannot recognize them in view of the fact that they are in the court. But I think one thing that we should understand is that when they took their issues to the court, they had three major prayers. The first is to declare that PDP is the authentic winner against all odds. And the second is to requesting for a restraining order so that the Speaker cannot swear them in and inaugurate the members. Well, going by the court judgment, which was passed some weeks ago, the court was unable to decline all these two prayers, which was very clear. The only thing the court granted was adjournment for the next date of hearing, which is 26 February. So technically, the Speaker of the House of Assembly has not gotten, their prayers were not successful. And therefore, it cannot be said that the Speaker is still waiting for any court judgment or lacks the jurisdiction to swear them because there is a case in court. Now, the House of Assembly, as it is today, has 8 members in the House functioning and as duly recognized by the law. 16 are outstanding, yet to be inaugurated. And what are the implications? Like I said earlier on, the House is made up of 24 members. And for any deliberations to take place, or for any bill to be passed or motion, 2/3 of the members have to be carried on, or it has to be passed by 2/3 of the members. These 2/3 of the members are not there. The 2/3 of these members, if you do a simple arithmetic, equals to 16. So, the next big question, which people often ask outside is, in the 3 arms of the government, the executive, legislature, and the judiciary, as far as Plateau State is concerned, there is a big missing link. Democracy is yet to be on full gear. It's just like an aeroplane taking off and then getting to the cruising level. As far as our own democratic practice is concerned, and as far as enjoying the dividends of democracy is concerned, we are yet to get that because the House is not complete. Again, what is the implication of not having 2/3 of the members? These 2/3 of the members, 2/3 of 24 is 16. And these 16 members of the House are representing the people of Plateau State. Plateau State, as of 2022, has a population of 4,717,300 people. By implication, if you have 2/3 of the people ostracized, not being in the House to carry the due diligence, due process of legislative work, it means that about 3.1 million Plateau people that had legitimately participated in democratic actions as expected of them are being ostracized. They don't have representation.
Professor Wade.
And if they don't
Professor
have...
Wade, please allow me to interrupt you. Thank you so much, for giving us quite a comprehensive breakdown, of what the implication of not swearing in the lawmakers are. Now, a couple of weeks back, we had Felix Moka, that's the National Publicity Secretary of your party, on this program. And he threatened, that the party was going to take up the matter in court, if the lawmakers are not sworn in. So I'm wondering why you haven't taken that step since the Speaker is adamant that he's not going to swear the lawmakers in anytime soon. Is it because you are afraid that the court might not favor you since the Court of Appeal judgment itself is controversial?
No, we're not afraid at all. We're not afraid because the Court of Appeal, which is the final bus stop of determining such an election matter, has spoken. What the party has been trying to do is following or towing the line of diplomacy and tact, towing the line of peace. Plateau State is known for its peaceful disposition in pursuing things. It is incumbent on the House leadership to ensure that this inauguration is done. And we are hoping that now that they went to court, because as of the time that you asked this question or the issue came up, they were in the court. And we couldn't have just tried to jump over our shadows by doing the otherwise. But after this, the lower court has passed its judgment, not acceding to their prayers, to their two requests, and adjourning the case to the next hearing. That is for mention. Certainly, we know that it is now left for the Speaker to do the appropriate inauguration. But we do know that at the appropriate time, the members who are affected will know the right thing to do by way of following the legitimate process. Why we are also towing the line of diplomacy and tact is that we see ourselves, without prejudice to the fact that the other party is now out, as brothers and sisters. And as you know, Plateau State has gone through trials and tribulation. And just of recent, we have not come out of some of the troubles that we've had. And just yesterday, we lost our state publicity secretary, who was unfortunately shot dead, and may his soul rest in peace. So I believe that the Speaker, in clear conscience, should do the needful. At the same time, too, we recognize the fact that the executive arm can also play a very significant role, starting from the governor, because we also pity the governor. We wonder how he is functioning efficiently or effectively without the legislative arm being in place. Because as it is, you cannot say that the legislative arm is totally functioning. Going by the Court of Appeal judgment, there is only one man standing, who is the Speaker from the YPP. Then the remaining 7 APC. The party has not communicated to the House as to the other membership or leadership of the party. And as you know, this is completely not within the legislative balance for a party to operate as a one-man party. Can the APC that has 7 members awaiting the inauguration of 16 members claim to minority leadership because the YPP is holding the speakership? No, that's an aberration. So some of these missing links will have to be addressed, and we hope that this thing will be addressed very, very soon. The elected members who are duly elected, supremely affirmed by the Court of Appeal with respect to their victory, have taken their cases to the appropriate level, including the party at both the state and national level. And we are praying that very soon this thing will be over. Because the longer we continue this aberration, non-representation, it will not go well for us.
Or the people of Plateau State. As the situation is now, how does your party plan to move forward? Moving out of more diplomatic ways, are you willing to take it to court? What really is the way to instate these 16 lawmakers?
Well, I think our legal advisors will do the needful. They will advise appropriately. But one thing I can assure you is that we will not be taking the course of violence or anything untoward that will lead to destabilization or agitation in the state. But we do know that as it is now, the average man on the street keeps asking the same question, which has become a recurrent decimal, that what is happening to the House of Assembly? What is happening? And I think that the House members, they are not lawless. They will certainly do the needful, even though you will hear the opposition saying that they have taken their appeal again forward. Appeal to which appeal? That is a big question. Appeal to which appeal? But I think at the appropriate time, there will be the imperative for the executive side, right from the state governor to Mr. President, to intervene, or at the best scenario, the National Assembly.
Now, I'd like to know your thoughts, on the controversy that has trailed this ruling by the Court of Appeal. You know, some lawyers have argued that the appeal court ruling that gave victory to the 16 APC lawmakers was a judicial malpractice on a very corrupt scale. And of course, it did not, follow legal precedents. Even the Supreme Court alluded to it when it was ruling on the election victory of Governor Caleb Mutfwang and said that, already some people are suffering, because of such, should I say, illegality. So in a sense, aren't you also championing an illegality which ordinarily should not be allowed to stand? Is this just about politics or about what is right?
Well, you see, the truth is that, like you say, you find a lot of politics, intrigues, manipulation, all coming to play. Starting from the governor. For the governor, just like Mr. President, the Supreme Court, he has been supremely affirmed as the executive governor of Plateau State by the Supreme Court, which all of us accepted, extended congratulations to him, and he also reciprocated by accepting and pledging to work with everybody and carrying everybody along. To me, that is a hallmark of humility and leadership. In the same vein, for the National Assembly, the Court of Appeal has supremely affirmed these people, which has been accepted. Now, an individual going by the law and our Constitution cannot be alluding what the Supreme Court has said to imply. You cannot take an implied statement to be a judgment. You cannot. Just about 2 weeks ago, we had a by-election in Plateau State for the National Assembly, and the elections came and gone, and the appropriate people were elected, the rightful winners declared, and just about last week, the President of the Senate, Speaker of the House of Representatives, has sworn them, and they have gone into action. So people cannot just be playing politics, deadly politics, in fact, by saying or alluding that the Supreme Court has alluded that some people are suffering. The law is the law. That is the truth. And the earlier we respect the law, the better for all of us. Because if you say that you are going back to the court, which court? Can a lower court even upturn the verdict of a higher court? The rules are there for them. We know it very well.
Well, Professor John Wade, APC chieftain from Plateau State, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon and for having this conversation.